Yo, what's good YouTube? I'm going to do a video response to a pretty cool video I came across. I'm going to post the link to the video in the description. I still have it. So yeah, first of all, this is going to be a really challenging video. It's going to be really, it might be a little long too. But bear with me. First, how are you guys doing? I'm good, thank you. I'm in my apartment right now. I just got it, and it's pretty cool. I don't know where my roommate is. I live in Austin, I say the address, and I'm still waiting for school to start, I guess. I'm kind of bored because a week before classes start. But anyway, I'm gonna get right to it because this video is gonna be long, and I don't want it to be too damn long. I came across this video of a guy. Hold on. Ankoku guy boss. I really hope I said his name right, because that name's crazy, man. Like, if you're watching this, man, what is that? I know it means, it's probably something Japanese, but I don't know what it means completely. But at least, yeah, I really have no idea actually. I'm still new to Japanese, but anyway. So yeah, he did a video about biracials or mixed people or people who are half black or part black and part God knows what, right? He's just sharing his opinion about it, and I respect it for the most part. Well, I respect it completely because it's just his opinion, and I like the guy. I like his videos. He's really funny. He's really funny. Kills me. So yeah, he's really funny. You guys should definitely check his videos out. Quick like little description of him, at least that I know him. I don't really know him like that. I just saw him on YouTube, but from what I've seen, he's really funny. He's really old school. And I like that about him. He's stationed in Japan somewhere. I don't know where, but he's in Japan somewhere, and he pretty much does videos, does a bunch of J-vlogging. And I follow a lot of J-vloggers for obvious reasons, and so yeah, this is going to be a video about a response video to his video speaking about multiracials and biracials. Now, I'm going to be looking to the left because I got some notes, so maybe I might edit it out. We'll see if it doesn't look too ridiculous. So, yeah, his video is talking about how he has nothing against biracials. He stated he has nothing against biracials or people who are black and mixed with whatever. He's just against it being such a big fad. Like, he's not all about it. I can agree with him to some extent, and I can disagree with him at some point. So I'm just gonna share my opinion about it. This guy's so funny. You guys really should check it out. He's priceless. All right, so I'm gonna get the agree stuff out of the way because he says, okay, so he quotes, "Why is it that only black people quote when they're mixed? Why do they state, oh, I'm half black and I'm half French, or I'm half black and I'm half like Chinese or something like that, whatever." And I agree with him. I always wondered that, actually. I just never thought about it like that vividly. I was just like, why is it that it's never like a white person stating they're mixed? They always say, yeah, I'm white. It's always the black person saying, I'm black and I'm whatever, and it's not every single black person, but you'll hear, if you're gonna hear about someone's nationality being mixed, the first mouth is gonna come out of is someone like me. I mean, I'm mixed, but I don't, if someone asks me my nationality, I will say I'm American, and they'll say, like, well, no, what's your background? And then I'll say, okay, well, I'm part black and I have white in me, and a whole bunch of whatever. So, that's what I'll say, but I don't really push the whole mixed thing too much. That's my stance on it. My stance about it is, if you are mixed, you don't have to go too hard about it. That's my position about it. You don't have to be like, I gotta let the world know that I am half black and I'm half whatever. Because believe it or not, when you do that, people are gonna think you got some type of high horse about yourself. Some people feel that way about it. I don't know why, I don't know why, but I have no idea why. I can't even make up a scenario on why, but a lot of people don't really, they just don't buy that shit, man. They really don't. They're just like, okay, but but here's the thing, the reason why is, I think the reason why black people, this is the only thing I can think of. The only reason why that black people will point out the fact that they're mixed is because black is a very dominant trait. You can be black and mixed with anything in the world. You're going to look black to everyone else. Like, you are going to have the facial features, the nose, the lips, the skin color. Like, you're going to have it. The only thing that might change is you might be a little mulatto, like myself or whatever, or you might, and you know, eye color might change or something like that. But you're going to have, most likely, you're going to have curly hair. And most likely, you're going to look very, 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 like, this, like, you're going to look black. Like, there's no way around it. Even though there are some exceptions, because I do know people who are, like, very dark, and they got, like, half Irish in them. I know someone from my high school who's like that. I'm not saying his name. So, why do they do that? That's the only thing I could think of, man. I really don't know. I don't push it like that. I don't, like, yeah, I'm mixed, but I'm not pushing it out there like that, you know? There's no need. Like, someone says I'm black, I'm like, yeah, I'm black. I have black in me. Like, that's right. It's not like you said I'm only black. If you said that, I'm like, oh, okay, well, no, I'm something else. But it's nothing to get too hurt up about, though. On the receiving end, when you hear that, it's nothing to get too hurt up about unless that person has that high horse attitude. Which is my next thing that I agree with him on, right? Yeah, the whole high horse thing. Black people, if you were mixed, like I said before, do not like make it such a big thing. Like, guys, like, if you are black and you have like whatever else in you, multiracial, if you're multiracial with African ancestry being one of them, don't make it such a big deal. It's not that fucking serious. Like, it is kind of serious, but it's not, because the reason why is because when you keep pushing that, you're going to seem egotistical, even if you don't mean to be. Don't put yourself like that. That's why I don't really do it that much, because people always think like, I don't know why you always saying all that. Like, to me, like, I literally have people say, well, to me, like, you're just black. And, you know, am I offended? A little bit, but only because when you say that person is, they're only black, whether they're black or not, you're thinking like, well, no, you're skipping a whole nother part of my ancestry, and you're just disregarding it like it doesn't exist. That part I don't agree with, because if someone's gonna come to me and say, I just appeared black, okay, I mean, I can understand that. If you're not black and you see someone like me, you're not gonna really, you can't tell the difference between multiracials and monoracial blacks. So I would understand. But if someone were to say, no, you're not, whatever else, I'd be like, well, who you tell me what my nationality is? You know, like, I already know my origin or whatever it is. Like, I know what's in my bloodline. So those are the three things I agree with him on. Now, the things I disagree with him on. Disagree with him was kind of hard because I had to go through the video and kind of pinpoint some things out that was like, this one's really like it's on the fence, and I want to make my point clear. So, hang with me. If a black person, this is what he said. It's so funny. If a black person went to an Irish Day parade and told people that he was if a black person went to an Irish Day parade, right, and say he told the people there, oh, I'm half Irish, he stated they would probably look at you and beat you up with bagpipes. I don't know, I find that funny. I find that hilarious. But I disagree with him. There's one thing I noticed about this guy. I don't know him like that, so I don't want to act like I'm judging him, but I know that he grew up in a different generation than I did. He's definitely much older than me. I'm not saying he's an old guy, but he's not my generation. And usually the people who are not my generation, they sometimes will have they resort to where, subconsciously too, they resort to where they came from, era-wise, not like nationality-wise. So they think about like, oh, okay, well, if I would have done that a long time ago, that would have been ridiculous, so I don't really see it that way. And that's okay. To an extent, of course, in my opinion. I don't think that that's true, because if you said to an Irish person, oh, I have Irish in me, my mom is Irish, they'd be like, oh, cool, wow, I didn't know that, that's pretty cool, I knew that because I don't see the seed in you. They would actually try and talk to you. Me, how do I know this? I grew up in Long Island. that should say it all. Like, I was in the Irish Day Parade marching because I had to because I was in marching band and stuff like that. But either way, like, that's how they go about it. They don't really, unless it's like some racist folk, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just people who aren't racist. If you were to see, how long is this damn video? God damn, it's already 10 minutes. if they were to see you to like, you know, if yeah, you probably wouldn't look right in those kilts and stuff like that because they might feel a little funny about that. Because I mean, if you're dark skinned and there's dark skinned people who are half Irish. I've seen it before. If you go to some like, you know, Irish Day parade and put on a kilt and play some bagpipes, it's gonna look kind of funny. But who's to say it's wrong to do so? I don't think it's wrong to do so. I don't. And that's where I don't agree, because if you have that ancestry in you, or especially to a great extent, like great percentage, why the hell not? If it's part of it, there's nothing wrong with that. So I have to disagree with him on that. Another thing I disagree with is he said that if a black person was to say he was half Russian, he should know Russian. Okay, another thing he said, and this is gonna be kind of quoting him because it's just mad funny. He was like, okay, another thing he said is if a black person, let's say, I'm just gonna throw a nationality out there. If a black person says that he is half Russian, to him, he can't really get a grasp on that or get behind that or agree with it. I'm not going to agree, but really play the whole "you're mixed" thing unless that person speaks Russian or that person has tried to go to Russia. I disagree with him for two reasons on that one. I disagree with him, one, because if you're half Russian and you know it, most likely you're not going to know where your family is. Your main reason being, if you're an African American, you don't. Most African Americans, I know the Europeans don't really know this too well, but most African Americans, we don't know where our parents came from. Like, it's because of the slavery and what happened with the women and men, well, mostly the women, during that time of slavery. We were viewed as pretty much just, you know, objects to work. We were pretty much no different than a, you know, a tractor. That's pretty much what a black person was, but a very expensive tractor. That's what we were. And so if a black person has Russian in them, they most likely aren't going to know who that Russian family is because they don't really know how to find out. And you know, you can do the Ancestry.com thing, but that's gonna, first of all, those things aren't 100% accurate. They're pretty accurate, but they're still not 100% accurate. And second of all, that stuff costs like what's it, like $300 to search it up or something like that? Who's got money for that? Like, no. It's not necessary. So I don't think that you have to be speaking a certain language to know that, you know, to prove to someone else that they're part Russian. It's dumb. I have a friend named Nico. He's from Chile, but he lives in Sweden. He lived in Sweden most of his life, I believe. Yeah, he speaks Swedish and everything like that. But you know, he told me why does he told me before, he was just like, why do I have to keep proving myself to people when I say that I'm Swedish? My part of his family is Swedish, and he speaks Swedish, and he lives in Sweden now, Stockholm. So why would he, you know, if someone asks him, no, you can't be Swedish. He doesn't look Swedish. That's why, because he's a little short, which Swedish people aren't short, and he does not have blonde hair. He's like he's pretty much as dark as me, and you would never think he lives in Sweden, but he speaks fluent Swedish and all that. So he's just like, why do I have to prove myself to someone? I know what I am. And I agree with him, because it's, why should you, you know? And especially with nowadays, with all this people who get adopted and all that stuff, and families aren't as, well, you know, it's not as so, you know, together as everyone thinks. I don't know, I don't even know I shouldn't be saying this, but whatever. I don't know most of my family. I don't really know. I really don't know most of my family or the nationalities that sprung into me or whatever. I really don't know. And that's because, well, slavery and everything else, but like that. But, you know, and another reason why I don't really agree with him when he says that is because he's saying you should speak Russian and all that. Okay, so you shouldn't claim black either, because if you can't speak an African language, I guess you can't be black either. That's where I see the hypocrisy in it, because it's like, if I say that I'm part, I don't know, if I say I'm part Norwegian, right? Let's say I say that, and someone says, well, speak some Norwegian. I don't know any Norwegian. I don't know any of that. And they say, you can't be Norwegian. Well, if I told you I was, you know, I have black in me. Okay, speak some African, speak a language from Africa. I don't know. I don't know any languages from Africa. I guess I'm not black either, so what am I? So I don't agree with him on that. And then I do agree with him on this. Yeah, I do agree. The only time people will actually take recognition of you being mixed is when you are president. That is so accurate, and I didn't realize it. I spent 4 months in Spain, Valencia, and I had plenty of friends who were Spanish, Ireland, Swedish, British, you name it. So, and you know, like I remember I was having a conversation with a certain someone who's from a European country, and he was like, we were talking about President Obama and stuff like that, because we got into the topic of race and blacks and stuff like that. So I swear, every time we talk about race, blacks they come up like somewhere. I mean, obviously because we are race, but I mean, like, it's always like the first thing, you know. But he was saying, like, you know, he said, yeah, but he's half black. I'm like, you know, it's funny you say that about him, but when you look at me, it's a whole different story. And I'm like, it just doesn't add up. But it's like, because he's important. So I do agree with him on that. That is a funny thing, that only time people actually take that recognition is if you know, president or something like that. So okay, so the first thing he says, this is priceless, it's so funny. He says, you have to, if say someone, he uses an example, is like, say a black person is black and German, and he says, if you go to claim German, I dare you to go to Germany and try and tell people you're German. They'll probably slap you with some sausage. That is hilarious. Venus, no, whatever. But so, you know, that's hilarious. But I'm gonna disagree with him on that. Main reason being is because if you explain to a German person that you're half German, they'll probably ask, you know, like, who. Same thing with the Irish thing that I mentioned earlier with me growing up in Long Island. They'll say the same stuff. They'll be like, oh, well, what's you know, the same shit. Like, who in your family is German, or how did that come to be about, you know? And you know, and to be honest with you, in Germany there are actually plenty of blacks if you know where to go. So it's not that far into them. They're very aware that there are blacks who have German in them, because they know about the history of slavery and all that stuff. So they know about that stuff. Once who did it. Partly. So they know about that stuff, and they know that there are mixed people. They're not too aware of it, but they do know that it's a possibility, because race mixing is happening a lot more nowadays. Okay. So if he says, if you go to France and you said that you have French in you, they'll throw you off the Eiffel Tower. Yo, this guy is priceless, man. I don't know why I haven't watched many of his videos before. I found him through GS350JPN. You should check his channel out. He's really, really good. These are both, you know, black guys who are based in Japan. So yeah, so he pretty much, I don't agree with him on that. Main reason being, I've been to Paris. There are, like, honestly, you see you see more blacks than pretty much any other race except French. Like, you will see a lot of black people there. There are a lot. And not just Africans, I mean, like, blacks who have, you know, mixed with French people. It's very, very common. Go to Paris, you'll see what I'm talking about. There's plenty of black people there. So for them to hear you're half French and half black, they're probably gonna actually assume that before you even speak it. Just putting it out there. So I don't agree with him. I've been to Paris and I stayed there for a week, and I don't have French in me. I don't have French in me to my knowledge. So I didn't obviously say that, but there's plenty of black people there, and they'll be like with their parent who's white. One of their parents who's white. And I've seen it before, I've seen it in stores, I remember it very clearly too. So, you know, I don't really agree with him on that because of my experience, and it just doesn't sound right at all either. Okay, and the sixth thing is really, 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 like, controversial. This video is long. Wait, what's it on? I don't know. Anyway, so the fifth thing that I'm going to talk about is very controversial. Sorry, the sixth thing I'm going to talk about is very, very like controversial. So hear me out. And it brings a bit of hypocrisy up again. So he said that one time he was in Spain, and he was on a plane, and there was like some Puerto Rican on the plane or something like that, and there was the Spanish dude came up, and he was just like, "I'm sorry, sir, but you're not Spanish." And the guy was like, "How, you know, who do you think you are?" He was like, the guy said, "You may speak Spanish, but you're not Spanish." And the guy was like, "Oh, no, I am Spanish. I know what I am. You can't tell me who my heritage is." And he was upset and stuff like that, and he was embarrassed because it was like public. Alright, so I don't really, this one I agree and disagree. I agree because I can believe that happening because I've been in Spain and I know how some Spanish people feel about Latinos and Latinas. Not all, of course. I'm not saying every Spanish person, but I've met Spaniards and you know what's funny? Like they weren't even like holding it back either. They were just like, yeah, I don't, you know. Like I've literally heard someone say that person, you know, Latinos and Latinas are like fake Spanish people, and that's pretty racist. And you know, it's like the reason why I don't agree with him is because I mean, obviously that happened, but what I don't really agree with is like he just stated that if you don't really speak that second language, I can't really see you being that much of a mix or whatever. I don't, you know, like, but that really, yeah, so that just goes against completely what he just said earlier, because if, you know, and he was laughing about it, and it was just like, but, I mean, it's funny, but it's, I don't know. I don't really think that knowing the language of like your other ancestry qualifies you as that. I mean, I know a Filipino who doesn't speak any Tagalog, and his mom and dad are, well, his mom's Filipino, I think his dad's Chinese. He doesn't speak any of either of those, really. He doesn't, like, you speak Tagalog to him, he's not going to know what to say. You speak Mandarin to him, he's not going to know what to say. So, I don't think he's right in saying that. Or at least I don't think that's right at all. And here's the thing about Latinos and Latinas that I think, since a Latino and Latino already implies that you're mixed. You don't need to say you're mixed. That's dumb. That's like saying someone French is white. That's like no shit. So I don't really agree with him on that. Because if you're Latino, I'm not gonna explain the history of how Latinos and Latinos are created, because I'm just not doing that. I'm not going through that. Yeah, so if to say that someone is in Spanish because they're not from Spain, he was just, and that's another thing he said I didn't agree with. He was saying like, where's your dual citizenship? Because if you have dual citizenship, then that qualifies you as being Spanish. I'm not buying it. Because a Spanish person could give birth to you in America. You don't have Spanish citizenship then, do you? And I don't really buy it also because it also still is hypocritical, because then if you're black and you don't have citizenship to some African country, I guess you're not black either. Main reason, so moral of this whole thing, in my opinion, is that yeah, it makes people give it a rest sometimes, but don't necessarily act like, you know, you don't have anything in you. Like, yeah, if you have something in you, don't try and let someone tell you you're not, because if you are what you are. That's it. And if you put yourself on some high horse or something like that about it, and I don't really respect that. Yeah, I really don't. Because you cool, you have white and black in you, and everyone's special in their own way. That's it. And another moral to this: it's the human race, guys. No spin, twist, or flavor you can put in it. There's one race, the human race. We all came from one place anyway. So, and so just know, just either on both sides. Just don't make a big deal about it, because it's not that. I mean, it's unique, yes, that you have more than one nationality in you. But honestly, most African Americans, we are mixed. My last name is a British last name. Like, come on. Yeah, but my last name is British. I mean, and here's another thing for the whole black thing. And because he talked about like you go to that country that you say you have bloodline in, you know, and they'll look at you foolish. Try going to some places in Africa. If you are black and you're an African American, or if you're Afro-British or something, try going to Africa. You'll find the same thing. You'll find some places where you can go to and you can state that, and they think it's cool. And you have some places you go there and state that, they'd be like, oh, you're not black though. You don't really have any black culture. This is black culture because it's Africa. Get out of our country, or just don't even state you're black. Just, you're an American. That's it. Don't say African American, you're just American. So, and yeah, I think people should stop being so cold about it, man. Like, I really think so. I think that people should just accept others for who they are and don't try and make yourself seem so special about it. Because there's no way you spin it, twist it, turn it. It's still part of the human race, and you have what you have in you. Like, it's just no way around it. So, that was my video for today. Yeah, I was gonna talk about something else. What was it? Okay, so I'm running out of space, so I'm gonna clear this memory card. So to everyone at Berkeley, message me with ideas for videos. I'm gonna be putting some more out very soon because I just need to put some out. There's no way else. There's nothing else to say about it. But I need to put some videos out soon. And it is, by the way, it's like 5:30 a.m. right now. I just have insomnia like a bitch right now. I'm not going to sleep for like another hour. So I'm just be up here on YouTube, whatever. So yeah, but to my friends at Berkeley College of Music, hit me up with some ideas and some stuff. And if you want to do a video with me, we can do that too. I'm all for it. Just let me know. And then I also, if you want to do some music or production and stuff like that, let me know also, because I'm so down for it. But other than that, check out those videos, check out this guy. I think he's and you know, even though a lot of stuff I disagree with him, I think he's a really cool guy. I got nothing against the guy. He is I really enjoy his videos, and I actually really do listen to him because he does see things from a different perspective, and sometimes I agree with it, sometimes I don't. We're all people, we have opinions. So that's it. To everyone, peace.